All right, with that said, let us get right into our next segment, high spots and low shots. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna say my low shot's John Cena. Uh,
Yeah, well, I guess.
I mean, he had his hand forced. Seth Rollins said he was gonna do something. I don't think Cena took the threat seriously, and it cost him. He had his hand forced. He's gonna have to face his team or the people that fought beside him and said, "I am so sorry. Your sacrifices meant nothing."
Yeah.
And yeah, what a horrible night.
Well, to me, he'll be the low shot when he actually has to do that. But as of right now, that's just something to look forward to.
Yeah, but
But
I mean,
as of tonight, nobody else lost two matches other than the Miz and Mizdow, and they're my low shot.
yeah, perfect low shot. My high spot in that same vein, Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah,
Who else?
yeah.
Who else? I mean, this guy. Anytime that somebody can have a segment where they ascend into, oh man, I really like this guy, to, oh man, I need to see this guy every week. Like, that's huge. I'm so looking forward to Seth Rollins having his run. I don't care if it's at the expense of Cena, Roman Reigns, the guy selling popcorn in the 15th row. Seth Rollins will be a world champion in 2015, and I am so going to revel in that ride.
Okay, I have because unfortunately you didn't use either one of them, so I have two high spots.
Excellent. Do it.
And I'm disappointed in you because as great as Seth Rollins was, he didn't have as good of a night as either one of these other two guys.
All right, well, then you take all the glory, man. Who is it?
Ryback
Yeah.
and Daniel Bryan.
There you go.
One of them got an absolute crap ton of character progression and depth and actual opportunity to talk to the universe, which can we get one segment where somebody just comes out and talks to us, not named Triple H or Stephanie McMahon or John Cena every
Yeah.
week?
Yeah, even though Cesaro's promo was whatever, I loved how the undercard did seem to get a bit more mic time tonight.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, wrestling matches are great when they're good, but I would trade one match a week if it meant that we got some actual character progression from guys that aren't already in the main event.
I'll tell you something right now, and I know I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit. That would be my Raw request, is that this becomes more of the standard.
Well, that seems kind of unfair. I kind of just requested it already, didn't I?
Well, yeah, I guess. So I'll let you have that, and I'll co-sign. And I guess when we get to our segment, I'll have to think of something else. But I do agree that should become more of a staple of television.
Yeah, I think that's that. Yeah, that's definitely my Raw request. Is that we have. Like I said it already. I would trade one match every week for a talking segment from an undercard guy, whether it's, even if you want it to be, and I hate that I'm saying this, but even if you want it to be Roman Reigns, we need characters again. I feel like these are all just, like, I care about guys because of what they do in the ring now, rather than because of who they are as characters. I feel like the whole purpose of wrestling is to get you to invest in people's characters so that the matches mean more. Whereas it's everything backwards now. It's like you care about people because they're good in the ring rather than because you have reason to want to see them to succeed.
Well, that's why I think like a promotion like Lucha Underground has so much mileage. Like, everybody seems to have a story.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to hear in WWE. I want to hear their stories. Hearing Ryback's story tonight was a huge highlight.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you gave him your highlight. I knew one of us was going to, so I trust you on that, and you came through. And he should. It should be something that I think is taken notice of, not only because it's Ryback and we're happy for him, but the grander implications of it. The idea that a mid-card talent can come out, pour his heart out, and have a moment like that. It doesn't just have to be because it's Ryback. Give people these opportunities, and they might surprise you. As much as I love, like, the Jim Rosses and the other wrestling minds that say, maximize your minutes. Well, it's kind of hard to do that if you're not given the minutes in the first place. Give these guys the platform, and they may surprise you. Hell, if they don't, then you go back to the drawing board, and you can at least say you tried. I want to see the Vince McMahon that one of my favorite sound bites from him with his philosophy with Monday Night Raw was that nothing can go wrong if it's live. Well, prove it. Give these guys that platform, live TV, where the crowd can decide for themselves whether they want to hear more of this story or less, and go from there. It's a 3 hour show. You're telling me you can't curtail one of Triple H's long-winded promos by 5-10 minutes and give it to some other guy?
Oh,
You
wow.
know,
Somebody on Reddit suggested that there's a possibility we might get Dolph versus Cena at WrestleMania.
I can dig it. I can absolutely get
Play
behind
out the story that Dolph did everything for nothing.
And you know what?
And it's
I
all
would support
Cena's
Dolph
fault.
in that. I would support Dolph in that completely. I wouldn't boo Dolph in that scenario because he's absolutely right. What the hell did he survive 3-1 for? You know, and I know everybody's gonna be like, well, the Sting assist. Well, Ziggler had Rollins beat twice before Sting came in. And
I mean, you know what? Now that I think about it, I guess that all in all, if Ziggler had lost, he and the rest of his team would have been fired.
Yeah.
But I mean, even now you can look at it, and the Authority is back, so that the other team really didn't have anything to lose. And it's worth noting now that the Authority now is back in power, and everyone that was on Team Cena that didn't turn Big Show is now going to be kind of public enemy numbers 1 through 4.
Yeah. Yeah, so with that said, I mean, I guess there's only, we got 2 segments left, one being Raw Request. You already said what your Raw Request was, and I happily co-sign onto that. That's a great one, because I really would like to see that be on the standard more. And for me, you know what? I think my Raw Request is going to be, because I've kind of noticed this trend lately, and I do want it to keep up. Well, I think more on SmackDown than Raw, and I would like to see Raw adopt it because it's the live show. Have more, you know, kind of mid-card championship matches. I like the idea that we got a tag title match. I'm not so crazy about the result, but I like
I mean, I would sign on to it as long as you add without changing hands often. Because it seems like the WWE, rather than saying this guy's going to have a title reign through this amount of time, they say this guy's going to defend the title this amount of times and then lose it. Whereas to me, it should be more time-based than number of defenses based.
Yeah, I completely agree. So I would like to see more lower card title matches on, you know, the Raw product. Because I think SmackDown, again, has kind of kicked up their efforts there. So I can't say them. But Raw, I don't see that same effort. So I would like to see it.
Yeah, because the problem with SmackDown is that people in general, I mean, we try to avoid it, but people in general know the results before they even watch it.
Exactly. So there isn't even that air of excitement. So with that said, there's only one segment left, 30-second hot seat. And Ashton, I got to ask you, what do you have for me this week?
I'm going to make it simple, and I'm just going to say, now having all of this stuff, having everything that happened tonight in the books, who, in your opinion, should be the WWE champion going into WrestleMania, and who, in your opinion, should be the number 1 contender or contenders for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship going into WrestleMania? You have 30 seconds. Your time starts now.
Well, I'm just going to – you pretty much gave me this one because I loved your idea. I think
okay, something other than what I already said.
Oh, God damn it. All right. I'm just going to go the traditional route then. I'm going to say Brock Lesnar should be the champion going into WrestleMania. Reigns should win the Royal Rumble. I know it's probably going to disappoint a lot of Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler fans. Roman Reigns wins it, and then we Seth Rollins cashes in, and then we just have those two feud. And then I wouldn't have Ambrose get involved until after the fact so that him and Rollins can finish their program one-on-one without Reigns' involvement. So, yeah.
Oh, man. I hope my prediction happens and not that.
Yeah, you and me.
And both. I know you do too, so I'm not saying that to...
Right.
Well, your idea sucks, your idea doesn't suck. It's not even really your idea. That's just what you think is going to happen rather than what you want to happen.
Exactly. Like, hell, you know, I wish I could get on board with everybody saying, oh, it's Dolph's year or Bryan's going to have this redemptive moment. And here's the thing, too, and I know I'm going to...
I think Bryan is easier to buy into than Dolph.
And see, like, I can't buy in, and see, this is where I'm going to be hated. I can't buy into either one of them. Like, anybody that thinks that Daniel Bryan can legitimately take the fight to Brock Lesnar, I'm sorry, I'm not among you. I think Brock Lesnar, I mean, he ragdolled Cena at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
He would destroy Daniel Bryan. And this is coming from a guy that loves him, okay? I said I cried during his segment tonight, all right? But if we're being realistic...
I wonder who Bryan's opponent at Mania would be then.
I don't know. And then that's the question.
Because that really is a big question because, I mean, if you kind of start matching people up, you have Triple H and Sting, so Triple H isn't available. You have, I mean, Rollins. I I personally think we're going to get a Shield triple threat. So we'll say Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose right there. Boom. Maybe Bryan gets paired up with Ambrose or with Wyatt.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But then I've been hearing rumors of Wyatt Taker WrestleMania. I don't.
Yeah, that's true. And Ryback Rusev most likely. And yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. I just hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle now that he's back.
Yeah, I hope so too. We'll just have to see how it all goes.
Maybe he just randomly gets inserted into the WrestleMania main event again because the crowd support is so overwhelming and we just have a repeat of last year.
Maybe.
Except this time we actually get follow-up.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be nice.
It's going to be really intriguing to see where all these pieces fit for WrestleMania, but for the time being, this was an amazing episode of Monday Night Raw. Do you have any concluding remarks you want to make before I bring us home?
Just want to close out by letting people know, again, repeating myself, but obviously this is going to be split up into parts, so you might not have seen the other one, and most people tend to watch our first and last segment, so I'm going to say it again. We are going to be putting out a end of the year awards commentary on Wednesday, so make sure to tune in. Since Lucha Underground isn't coming back for another week, we are still going to have content up on Wednesday. How about that?
Absolutely. Cannot wait for those award shows. Going to be excellent. Can't wait to have those discussions about who we all picked. And with that said, this has been Raw. This has been TwitWow, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort in commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. What was your favorite segment from this Raw? Are you jacked up with excitement that Daniel Bryan's going to be a part of the 2015 Royal Rumble? Is Seth Rollins as amazing as I'd like to think he is? Talk to us. Of course, continue the discussion on Pweetoff, an amazing pro wrestling group with some of the finest fans out there. And we will see you again, yes, for our award show on Wednesday, but also back to TwitWow with our formal NXT review where we see Tommy and Balor taking on the Ascension.